consider the truth of the future and the fact that in every relationship, even the strongest and longest marriage, there are challenges. And one of the ways that we rise and become equal to the challenges of marriage is by remembering the way you guys feel right now. Each day, make a conscious effort to remember this moment. Each day, remember the trust in each other's love that you feel in your hearts right now, the confidence in the future, the optimism in the plans that you've been talking about. Harken back to that every day. And each day you will recommit to be patient, to be tolerant, and each day you will choose again to love. And I say it that way on purpose. Hollywood and Nashville and everybody, they emphasize that wonderful, syrupy, sweet, overwhelming feeling part of love. And there's no doubt that that's a big part of love. But if we limit love to being just a feeling, we might one day shortchange our relationship. Because one of the things we know about feelings is that they come and go. They're stronger and weaker. It's got to be that way. As humans, I don't think we could survive the same feeling all the time, even if it's one of those pleasant ones. Unending bliss would get pretty monotonous. So we are allowed to experience all of our emotions. And truly, that emotion part of love is not always so overwhelming and syrupy sweet as it is right now. And at that moment when it's not so strong, some people are tempted to wonder, have I fallen out of love? Do I still have any responsibility to that other person? And it's at that moment that we remind ourselves that love is so much more than just a wonderful, overwhelming feeling. And we remind ourselves that ultimately, in the end, love is always a choice. Because no matter how we feel, we're not always going to feel great, but we can always still choose to be loving toward each other and to treat each other with dignity and respect. Communication. As human beings, we all crave to be understood. The feeling that there's somebody out there that we've trusted enough to let inside and see what we try to usually hide from the rest of the world. And we look up and see that not only have they not run out of the room repulsed by what they've seen in us, but they're still standing there. And it's amazing. They understand us and they still love us. It's an irreplaceable experience. Ironically, though, to sustain good communication over a long-term relationship, more often than not, we need to resist satisfying that human need to be understood. And we need to seek first to understand. If we're not communicating well, usually it's because one of us, and I guess I have to admit that in my marriage it's usually me, but I'll have this attitude of, honey, I know that if I can just get you to understand me, you'll realize I'm right and quit arguing with me. I just want her to understand me, and I get kind of self-righteous about it. Obviously, we don't do very well when I've got that attitude. But we can both get out of trouble real quick if we both have a genuine attitude of, honey, before we can really go forward on this, I can tell I need a couple more minutes. Can I tell you what I think you're thinking and feeling about this until you tell me yes? Now I know you understand me. You might want to get in the habit of repeating to that other person what you think their position is until they say yes. Now I know I'm understood. You might want to promise each other that you'll never say the other is wrong before that other has told you that yes, you understand me. These are simple things, but as we do them on a daily basis, we discover one of the miracles of marriage, that simultaneously the joys of life that we're sharing are being doubled, while the struggles of life that we're also sharing are being divided. Is there someone who could hold your flowers? I want you two to turn and face each other. Go ahead and hold hands and repeat to each other, and I'll start with you. If you'll repeat to your wife, I choose you this day.
I choose you this day.
To love.
To love.
To confide in.
To confide in.
To honor.
To honor.
To take pride in.
to take pride in,
to believe in,
to believe in,
and share with.
and share with.
I choose you this day
I choose you this day
to give you my heart.
to give you my heart.
Very good. And I've been nervous holding this ring, but I'm going to give this to you. And as you place it on her ring finger, if you would repeat, with this ring,
With this ring,
as a token of my love,
as a token of my love,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
And I gave him his ring. I'm sorry. That's how nervous I was.
Awesome. I went with it. You're the one who blew it. I had it all covered.
He had my back. Thank you all. You all jumped in. You know, that bodes well for the future of this relationship. Now, if you'll repeat to your husband, I choose you this day
I choose you this day
to love,
to love,
to confide in,
to confide in,
to honor,
to honor,
to take pride in,
to take pride in,
to believe in,
to believe in,
and share with.
and share with.
I choose you this day
I choose you this day
to give you my heart.
to give you my heart.
And now if you'll take the ring you have for him.
No one saw that.
And as you place it on his ring finger, repeat, with this ring,
With this ring,
as a token of my love,
as a token of my love,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
Are you and each of you ready, willing, and able to affirm these promises you've made by entering into the relationship of marriage?
I do.
I do.
Very good. In the very back, you may not have heard, but there wasn't a pause. The rings are symbolic of marriage in many ways. I just want to mention a few briefly. In most every culture, the circle symbolizes so many things, including completion, wholeness, eternity, and perfection. And the circle of the band symbolizes all of these things. It symbolizes the completion of your lives as single individuals. That chapter of your lives is done. It symbolizes the fullness of joys that is reserved for people like you who are ready, willing, and able to enter into a committed marriage relationship. The unending circle symbolizes the unending nature of the love you two share. The purity of the metals is emblematic of the purity of the affection with which you've made these promises to each other. And I emphasize they are promises you made to each other. You have witnesses here, you have lots of family and friends. But ultimately, you are appropriately looking each other square in the face. And these were promises that you made to each other. By virtue of the authority vested in me, by the laws of the state of Arizona, it is a privilege and a pleasure to pronounce and present you as husband and wife. And you may now kiss each other.
Come here.
Presents you Mr. and Mrs. Brian McKay. Thank you for coming.